In this video, we'll be taking a brief overview of the Osirium Admin console, which is only accessible if you have super admin rights to Osirium. The first place we'll start is looking at the accounts menu. So when you tell Osirium about a device you want it to manage or integrate with Active Directory, we'll go ahead and discover all of the privileged accounts. And in here, the accounts are given various different states. So a user is able to review the accounts that are discovered, identify anything that's suspicious, such as this backdoor account, and with the different states menu, right-click, change the state, you can start to work the account up to being managed, where Osirium is actively rotating the credential on a time basis. And of course, these accounts can be selected in bulk as well. Accounts that are known are not actually having their passwords rotated from PAM, but if they are, the user is able to, if they have super admin permissions, of course, reveal the credentials, which will, of course, in turn generate a syslog event to say that this activity is being done. But there we can see that in this example, as we're not rotating the password, this password is still fairly weak. But if we may have a look at a fully managed account, which is a role-based account that PAM has created for us, we can see that this account's password is long and complex. And it's these accounts here that you would give the user access to over in the profiles. So if you take a jump to the profile is that container or that policy, if you like, that really controls who has access to what. So if we were to expand the domain controller access profile, we can see that first of all, access to devices in this profile is being recorded from the checkbox. We can also prompt a user to enter a ticket where we may go ahead and verify that the ticket is valid before granting the access automatically. And human approvers are also configured under the approvers tab here. But essentially the profile contains the device. So we've already onboarded the device and we know that we're managing the local administrator account password. And we're also managing the user's ADM, so we're able to map the user onto their corresponding ADM account. Under the Tools menu, we would tick the box to say what tools the user can use to interact with this device, what tasks the user can run, very simple again, checkbox to select, and then ultimately what users inherit that permission through PAM. So I've simply onboarded a domain group, and if I were to click on this user group, Osirium is already syncing this group, and therefore the user that's in that group is displayed as an associated user. Under the device access report is where the activity is reviewed. So on an initial look, Osirium captures a lot of metadata about a session, whether that session's recorded or not, such as starts and end times, sessions durations, target device, who the user is, where they've come from, what access level or account they've used to then go out the other side to the target, how they've connected, and also in addition any approvals or any change tickets that have been associated. But how do you separate the wood from the trees as an organization? How do you reveal the critical information? Well, with our fuzzy filter, as our session recording captures keystrokes, we're able to filter on sessions where an event has occurred. And we can see that from this morning's session, I can play back this session really quickly, as I know this is where this command was detected. So if we click on playback and set the playback speed to fastest, press play. From an auditor's perspective, as you can grant auditor only access to the logging information, I appreciate that was a bit fast, so maybe we'll just scroll back through. We can see that at this point in time, the command was detected. So as I said, auditor-only permission can be granted to review the back-end audit data. Finally, the last thing that we'll cover in this session is the management report, which gives us an overview of the current state of the PAM deployment, ultimately the success of the implementation. So casting our minds back to the account state that from where we discover those privileged accounts, they will be reported in this dashboard, and I can drill down into reviewing and moving the accounts from the unapproved state up through the end states. Now, I would imagine for a production environment this to be anywhere between 85 to 100% to allow for new accounts to be discovered as new users are onboarded. Maybe they may need privileged accounts created themselves. A large scope of light green and maybe a smidge of dark green if an organization wishes to start implementing that role-based access control. But I can see from this graph the pie chart here that I've got some work to do. I've got several unapproved, unmanaged accounts that I need to work my way up through Osirium. Also, as a snapshot as well, I can see top tasks and most common device connections that users are creating as well. Coupled with integrations to SIEM and email, the Osirium PAM solution is able to provide fully auditability of access while sending real-time alerts to exterior systems. That's all for this video. If you would like to hear more, please get in touch.